All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, it is about that time. We got the one and only CNN's own Bakari Solis on, filling in for Jeff Johnson this morning, man. Happy to have you. What up, Bakari? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I can never be like Jeff Johnson, so I just want to do the best I can today. Shout out to my cousin.
Nah, Jeff. Man, we love you too, bro.
Good morning. We got three things you need to know today, Ricky, and I think you know where we're going to start on this three things you need to know, because the biggest news that we had was Elon Musk spending $44 billion to buy Twitter. Now, what most people don't know about this is that Twitter only has, and I say only somewhat facetiously, 217 million users a day. The reason that's intriguing is because that is so small in comparison to the billions of users that use Facebook and Instagram every single day. So this deal is not done yet. But the question I have for all of y'all is, if you have $44 billion, would you spend it on buying Twitter? I'm not sure that I would, but that's what Elon Musk decided to do. The deal won't be complete for another 3 to 6 months. It still has to be approved by shareholders, and it still has to be approved by, of course, the SEC and regulators. Nobody thinks there'll be anything out there to stop this deal from going through. And so now the richest man in the world owns the Washington Post, and Jeff Bezos, the second richest man in the world, owns Twitter. So that's where we are with that. $44 billion for Twitter. It is now sold. I would have never guessed that would happen. Some good news, though. Some good news on the policy front. Something that we don't talk about enough is it was announced this morning that President Joe Biden will actually grant 75 commutations and 3 pardons for people charged with low-level drug offenses. I know we all have people in our families, friends, people we know who've been locked up for things like marijuana, things like possession charges, not even distribution charges, or they've had their charges enhanced because of marijuana or possession charges. But Joe Biden is doing something that we always wanted him to do, and this is the first time since he's been president that he's utilized these constitutional clemency powers. And I'm really excited about this today. And this is a step in the right direction when we're talking about criminal justice reform. And people always ask, what can the president do to get around the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives? What are some of the powers he has? And these are powers he has to fundamentally change lives. And this is some power that he has that is executive, but it can actually help and aid in criminal justice reform. So shout out to those 78 people who are getting good news today that their sentences are being shortened. Some of them are going home, commutations and pardons. Shout out to those brothers and sisters today.
Amen.
Last but not least, speaking of presidents of the United States, something that would have been big news if it would have happened in any other time period, but President Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, as many people know, he's in a battle with Tish James, who's this bad black woman who is the attorney general for the great state of New York. And she has sued the president and his businesses, and she's been trying to get information from him. And the president or former president always has a tactic that he likes to stonewall investigations by simply not showing up, not turning over documents, etc. And the judge said, not anymore, you can't do it. So he was fined, or is being fined, $10,000 a day for each day that he does not turn over the documents that Tish James wants in their suit examining the Trump organization's business practices. Now, in any other time period, if there was a president of the United States, or former president, who was sanctioned by a court in these United States, and he was fined $10,000 a day, it would have been the number one news story in the world. But because of all the things going on, we're still in the middle of a war, Elon Musk buying Twitter, things get lost in the shuffle. So those three things you need to know today that I want y'all to talk about around the water cooler is, if you have $44 billion, are you buying Twitter? That's the first question I have. Second thing, shout out to all of those people, brothers and sisters, who are getting pardoned and their sentences commuted today. Thank you, Joe Biden, for that. And last but not least, Donald Trump, $10,000 a day in fines until he gets his act together and starts turning over documents to Tish James in this investigation. Those are the three things, Ricky.
There it is, Bakari. Let everybody know how you can be reached.
Well, right now, you can still find me on Elon Musk Twitter, apparently. at Bakari _Sellers right now. I'm going to hang out for a little while. And Instagram, Bakari Sellers, where you just get a chance to see my beautiful wife and beautiful baby.
There it is, man. The one and only, ladies and gentlemen, Bakari Sellers. Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you.
More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.